Hi, everybody. My name is William Roman, and the topic of my persuasive speech is the cost of not teaching personal finance. So, imagine a student earned excellent grades, they even graduate with honors, and deservingly get accepted to college for their dedication to their studies. Then, 1 year later, they're struggling with credit card debt because they never learned how interest worked. This unfortunate reality is that academic success doesn't always prepare students for financial success. So, from personal experience, I can definitely relate to this, which is the whole reason why I chose this topic. I graduated among top of my class. I was very book smart. I had knowledge about history and grammar, algebra, all that. And that was really nice and cool. But however, I didn't know a lick of anything when it came to finances. Unfortunately, that was probably the biggest aspect of my life that I had to really figure out on my own. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. So, financial illiteracy is a growing problem among young adults. Many people struggle with credit card debt, poor budgeting, and low savings because they never received formal education. Yet, many schools don't require a personal finance course. This is also at a time when inflation has consistently increased and the cost of living is effectively at an all time high for many people. From personal experience, I can also relate to this, just like I'm sure many of you can as well. When you think about it, at the moment, the cost of gas, the cost of basic needs like food, milk, eggs, medicine, health insurance, all these things have skyrocketed. Even the housing market is so ridiculously high. It's very expensive and hard to realistically get a house nowadays. I didn't understand how interest worked or the benefits of investing in like high yield savings accounts. I didn't know anything about the stock market. Well, when I became a homeowner, I really had to pretty much figure out all the financial aspect on the fly, including taxes, PMI, and all that fun stuff. When I asked questions about it on my own, sometimes people would try their best to explain it to me, but it would almost be like they're speaking a different language because their words just didn't really process and compute in my brain. Maybe it was a personal thing, but I'm sure a lot of people can probably relate because financial terms almost sound alien like when you don't know anything about it. Another thing is that as of today, 27 US states do require personal financial literature courses to get a degree. Compared to 2020, that number was only 8 states. So there definitely has been quite some good progress in the last few years. Also, about two-thirds of students actually get taught this class in school, but that's still millions and millions of kids who don't. Although the demand, based on a poll that I took, is that a lot of people would love to learn this topic. They feel like it's necessary course or a necessary topic in school that should be taught. I believe a solution to this is all rather simple. We should make it mandatory to require personal finance courses in all high schools. Even those who are homeschooled should be taught financial literacy in order to get their diploma. These courses should teach budgeting, saving, credit management, taxes, investing, and financial planning. By providing these practical educational tools, schools can really prepare the next generation for real world responsibilities. It would be great to know when people get paid what income tax is, because that's something that we all have to deal with, whether we like it or not. I'm sure we do like it because we get a good check out of it usually, but we have to understand what we're giving to Uncle Sam and what we're getting back in return. So, what happens if we just ignore this and we don't do anything? We keep things the way they are. Well, for millions of people, without financial education, many young adults are going to continue to make costly mistakes, accumulate debt, and struggle with financial stress that could have been prevented through basic instruction in high school. Do we honestly want our kids, our grandkids, the next generation to have to deal with all this unnecessary problems when it can easily be avoided? Now, look, on the other hand, if we do things another way, the way that I would think would be best, Imagine a generation of young adults who would know how to create budgets, avoid unnecessary debt, build strong credit, and save for the future. Students would enter adulthood with confidence and the skills needed to make smart financial decisions. So, between the two different scenarios, what sounds better to you guys? I think I know my choice. So, wrapping it all up, taking a financial course should be required in order to be eligible for a high school diploma. Schools should implement a course dedicated to managing money, making smart financial decisions as an adult. Students, parents, and community members can support this change by encouraging school boards and policymakers to prioritize financial literacy education. Every student deserves this knowledge in order to succeed financially after they graduate. In closing, financial decisions affect us every day, yet many students are never taught how to manage them. By requiring personal finance courses in high schools, we can equip future generations with the skills they need to build stable, successful financial futures. The time to make financial literacy a priority is now. There is no better time. And these were the sources that I used during this process of studying and resources. I appreciate you listening. I hope you guys found this informative. Thank you.